Good evening, dear friends. Summer is here, the sun is shining, and it's time to start shedding those layers of clothing. Gone are the leather coats, fur stockings, and Orenburg downy shawls. We want to soak up the sun on our faces and show off our athletic bodies, letting them tan so we can look our best when the New Year's celebrations roll around. But isn't it a bit too early to start thinking about the next holiday, the New Year? What do you think? Yes, it's early. Too early, I agree. But summer isn't over yet, and there's still time to impress people at the beach, or perhaps in the garden, or even in a field of clover picking flowers. Some of us are dreaming of strolling confidently in swimwear. So, we need to shed the extra weight and get rid of any excess fat. How can we do that? How can we lose weight quickly and effectively? Well, friends, today we'll be exploring a new highly effective method for rapid weight loss that works in two phases. The first phase involves reducing swelling by restoring lymphatic circulation. The second phase focuses specifically on improving intestinal function. As we know, traditional medicine has its trusted allies. I'm talking about Russian medicine, which is powerful and rooted in tradition. We also respect the achievements of other medical practices, including European, Western, and Chinese traditions, particularly those from our democratic allies. We value their insights and advice. Unlike some of our Western colleagues with their questionable tactics and pharmaceutical companies pushing chemical solutions, our Chinese friends take a simpler approach. They recommend pressing specific points on the body, gently stimulating or applying pressure to achieve results. This caught our attention. Our Soviet-trained doctors also recognize the potential in these methods and have successfully adapted the knowledge of middle-aged Chinese working-class science into the modern language of Russian medical practice. So today, we'll be learning together how to... Is this introduction too long? How long was it? 3 minutes. I think it's fine. What do you think, friends? Who is looking at you here? What kind of insect could this be? A praying mantis? No. A mole cricket? Wrong again. It's a gallbladder. The common bile duct, the hepatic duct, the gallbladder, and the duodenum. Let me introduce you to them. They all live in your abdominal cavity and work even when you sleep 24 hours a day without taking weekends off. Let's set aside the liver for now. We won't need it today. It's not Friday. Now, the pancreas. And here's our little spleen. We'll ignore the spleen for now as well. Look, here is the duodenum. Unfortunately, the gallbladder has already been removed here, probably due to cholecystitis. Oh no, it's still attached to the liver. Here it is, the gallbladder. Now, friends, take a look at this more realistic schematic representation in this photo. It's the same process. All of these organs are located in the right hypochondrium area. Let's learn some scientific terms while we're at it. The right hypochondrium is here, and the epigastric region is located in this area. Doesn't it seem like the liver hardly fits in there? But why all this detail? Understanding the mechanisms of physiology, how our intestines, liver, pancreas, and bile system function, helps us regulate our nutrition. As I mentioned earlier, The first phase of rapid weight loss involves reducing overall swelling by improving lymphatic circulation and eliminating excess water from the body. The human body is made up of 85% water. An overweight person is made of 185% water. We'll remove the unnecessary 100% and keep the essential 85%. We need that water, but only high-quality water, like mineral water. In the second phase, we'll focus on the intestines and stomach using reflex-based methods. Well, friends, I can see you're eager to move on to the exercises. You're excited, aren't you? But urgent matters always seem to arise. Suddenly, it's time to head back to work and money needs to be earned. But friends, if you want to always have time for exercise, there's an alternative. It's the option of working as a freelancer. Today, I want to recommend a free masterclass on freelancing with guaranteed job placement. Let me tell you about Maria Lebedeva. She started her freelancing journey from scratch and now has over 7 years of experience in online education. In the past year and a half, she has collaborated with hundreds of online schools, helping them grow. She has also hired over 1,000 teachers worldwide and supports a charity fund for autism. The online education market continues to grow every year. This industry generates billions of dollars and serves millions of students. Job vacancies are increasing, but there aren't enough professionals to set up and manage new online schools. The program's goal isn't just to train people for remote work. It also provides opportunities and helps its students find employment. With Maria's guidance, you can pay off debts, work remotely on your own schedule, and master a profession with much less competition compared to copywriters, social media marketers, and ad targeting specialists, yet with more available vacancies. Register for the masterclass using the link in this video's description to learn from Maria, a true expert in remote, flexible professions who has walked this path herself. All participants will receive a checklist to help them start working remotely right away. Friends, the link is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe. In our 12-meter-long intestine, there's a specific part called the sphincter of Oddi. As many of you know from popular science literature or the internet, a sphincter is a circular muscle. There are several sphincters in the body. Yes, the one you just thought of, that's one of them. But let's talk about another example, the sphincter of Oddi. Then we have other sphincter-like structures located in various parts of the intestine. There's the point where the small intestine transitions into the large intestine, called the ileocecal valve. It's similar to a sphincter. Another is the pyloric sphincter, which is located where the stomach transitions into the duodenum. It's not shown here to avoid distracting you, but it's right there. And here, friends, is where fascinating things happen. Various chemical reactions take place. Proteins are transformed into amino acids, fats into fatty acids. The pancreas plays a crucial role in this process. It has two primary functions. First, the endocrine function, which involves the secretion of hormones. Second, the secretory function, which involves producing pancreatic juices. Now, let me explain the term secretory. It doesn't mean hidden or secret in the way you might think. Here, it comes from the word to secrete, meaning to produce. In this case, it refers to producing enzymes and hormones. What does the pancreas produce? What enzymes are involved? There are 3 main types of enzymes, but I'll surprise you with a 4th. First, there's the enzyme that breaks down proteins. It's called protease. If anyone guessed that along with me, write a check mark in the comments. Next, there's the enzyme that breaks down fats, the ones we all enjoy eating. But when they settle in and start to accumulate, It's time to regard that fat with disdain, even though it does provide warmth in winter. These enzymes are called lipases. If you got that right, add another check mark in the comments. Well done. And the third type of enzyme breaks down carbohydrates. They're called amylases. If you knew that, give yourself another check mark. Now for the fourth type of enzyme. Get ready to be amazed. It's not a shock, but something that might astonish you. So, who knows? Go ahead and write it in the comments now. Let's see who's the smartest among you. Or maybe no one knows. This fourth type of enzyme is called nucleases. What do nucleases do? They break down the deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid of whatever you eat. Imagine this. You've just eaten a sausage. Does it contain deoxyribonucleic acid? Possibly. Or perhaps you've eaten an onion or some garlic. Do they have deoxyribonucleic acid? Absolutely. So, in order to prevent the deoxyribonucleic acid of garlic from entering your system, so you don't acquire the properties of garlic, or have it mix with your genes, these enzymes break down the garlic's deoxyribonucleic acid. This way, you avoid the fate of potentially becoming garlic man. Imagine being a Cipollino. Thanks to your pancreas, you'll steer clear of this destiny. So, give your pancreas a round of applause. It's working hard for you. Now, here's something fascinating about these enzymes. They cannot function without fatty acids. Fatty acids play a crucial role in activating enzymes, including those that digest fats. And what is essential for this activation? Bile. Bile is stored in the gallbladder and produced by the liver. These organs connect via the common bile duct, which allows bile to flow into the duodenum. It's in this magical location that the real action happens. Whoever pointed out my earlier mistake was right. It's the duodenum where the magic truly unfolds. Let's mark it here with a circle. At this spot, the ducts from the pancreas and the common bile duct open, releasing their secretions. But here's the question. How does the pancreas know it's time to release its enzymes? You can't just command it, "Hey pancreas, do your thing." Even if you did, it wouldn't listen to you. The pancreas only responds to three things. First, the brain. When your eyes see food, the brain recognizes it as appetizing. This triggers the brain's part of the digestive process, prompting the pancreas to release its secretions. That secretion includes enzymes to break down the garlic's deoxyribonucleic acid, fats you'll store, proteins you'll use for muscle growth during workouts, and carbohydrates. If those carbs aren't used for energy or mental work, they'll eventually turn into fat. Sugar and carbohydrates are vital for mental work, by the way. So, friends, the first component is the brain. The brain sends a signal. Think of it like Pavlov training his dogs. When food is shown, the bell rings, saliva flows, and gastric juice starts dripping. Then, even when the food isn't shown and only the bell rings, gastric juice still flows. That's science for you. Now, friends, let's move on to the next phase, the gastric phase. When you fill your stomach with food, it stretches. In response, the gastric glands release their enzymes. This is the second secretion. The third phase, called the intestinal phase, occurs when the food moves into your duodenum. At this point, another secretion is triggered. So, as you can see, your pancreas works 3 times during digestion. Thanks to our understanding of this mechanism, we can now incorporate ancient methods from our Chinese partners, our Asian comrades, who recognize digestion as a vital function. They view the intestines as one of the most important organs in the body, and we wholeheartedly agree. Their method involves targeting the projection of the sphincter of Oddi. We're not going to press directly on the pancreas. Instead, we'll focus on this specific point, the projection of the sphincter of Oddi. Look here, this is the spot. Where is the front and where is the back? Here, the ducts open up. This is the pancreatic duct, and over here should be the gallbladder duct. The artist didn't draw it, so I've added it for you. When the sphincter of Oddi loses its ability to contract or relax at the right time, it can cause various digestive issues. For example, improper fermentation can prevent fats from being stored correctly and interfere with muscle metabolism. This impacts the growth and strength of your muscles. We want powerful biceps and triceps that don't tear, right? So, when you're doing those French presses, your triceps remain intact. To ensure this, regularly press on this point here. Now, friends, how do you locate this spot? First, find the central line of your body. Everyone knows where that is. Everyone can find this central line. Even if your nose was broken in childhood and ended up crooked. Even if you're slightly off-center, you can figure it out. The center is roughly halfway between your eyes, where there's often a noticeable ridge. Imagine a straight line running down the center of your body to the pubic symphysis. Now, let's locate the second point. To do this, we draw a parallel line, perpendicular to the ground. Think of it like this. The ground is below, maybe with a white birch tree in the distance. Draw this line so it intersects the middle of your collarbone and the bottom of your rib cage. This intersection roughly marks the projection of the gallbladder. However, don't press on this area. If there are stones in the gallbladder and they shift, you could trigger a very unpleasant situation. Let's leave that area alone for now. Instead, focus on the area where the line from the middle of the collarbone intersects with the central line. In some cases, people may use the nipple as a reference point, but let's avoid that. It's not universally reliable. For others, the abdominal muscles under the subcutaneous fat layer can serve as a guide. Now, let's go one step further. Draw a third line directly between the central line and the line from the collarbone. Picture it clearly, or even draw it on yourself if you can. Once you've got this, locate the lower edge of your rib cage. Here's where it gets precise. Take your index and middle fingers, place them along the bottom edge of your rib, and use the middle finger as a guide. The area under the edge of your middle finger is the projection point we're looking for. This isn't a tiny needlepoint spot. It's a fairly large area about the size of a 5-ruble coin. If you've seen a 5-ruble coin, you'll know it's a decent size. Or think of it as a bottle cork crushed by a train, around the same size. Now, press gently on this area. This is where the sphincter of Oddi's projection is located. What's next? How do we stimulate this point? All right, here's what we do first. Gently press on this area. You can use both hands. Take a breath, and as you exhale, press softly. Take another breath, and on the exhale, press again. Be gentle, like you're petting a cat. If you press too hard, it'll bite. Here, as you exhale, make sure it doesn't bite you. On the exhale, your stomach slightly draws in, and as your stomach moves in, you push again. That's how you perform the exhale. Exhale, press. Inhale, exhale, press. Each time, try to let your fingers go a bit deeper, but always gently and carefully. Repeat this 5 to 10 times. When you feel a slight resistance, stop there. Without lifting your fingers, begin to rotate them in small circles. First, in a clockwise direction. Don't overthink whether you're imagining the clock with a digital or analog face. Just stick to clockwise. What will happen next on the other side of the movement? First, you'll do it clockwise. Also, with each exhale, breathe out. Do this movement on each exhale, holding your fingers steady as you turn them. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Repeat this 5 to 10 times, then relax. Now, switch to counterclockwise. Again, inhale, exhale, rotate. Repeat this 10 times in the opposite direction. This exercise helps relax the circular muscles surrounding this part of the duodenum. They improve its function. Now, if you hear some rumbling, like something dropping into a well, that's normal. It's the gallbladder contracting and releasing bile, especially if there was stagnation. This is a positive effect. By doing this, we've improved the function of our gastrointestinal tract, setting the stage for fat to break down. Fat will now transform into molecules, then into atoms, and finally into strong muscles. That's the magic of digestion at work. But we're not done yet. We still need to tackle swelling. We'll focus on practice here, keeping the theory to a minimum since much has already been covered. No lengthy explanations. Watch closely. Let's focus on the left pectoral muscle, specifically the small one underneath the larger one. Take a ball and place it between the wall and your chest. Using back and forth movements, work the muscle from side to side. When you find a sore spot, pause and focus on it. For weight loss, the left side is key. Why? Because the lymphatic system collects fluids from the entire body, except the neck and head, under the left pectoral muscle. Work this area thoroughly over several days. You relieve all the sore points in this area. You can also use your hands, but a ball is more effective, as this area needs consistent pressure for at least 5 minutes. If you want to reduce facial swelling, do the same thing on the right side. Focus on the right pectoral area and the face itself. If you're only concerned about reducing facial puffiness, limit your focus to the right side. But if you want to keep a full, nourished-looking face while slimming down your torso, work on the left side instead. Well, friends, by now someone has probably finished their meal. This video has been long enough for you to eat your first course, second course, and even drink some compote. Remember to stay active, help out your parents, and I'll see you next time.